Morning, YouTube. Gabe coming back at you with another video. In South Carolina right now, and I'm gonna go pick up our load. Going back down to Texas again. The roads this week was pretty bad from what I hear. Jackson, Mississippi, Birmingham, and all that stuff. This week I picked up on Thursday going back to the house. So hopefully the roads are good by now. They should be. Check the weather and oh man, it's looking pretty good. So just have to wait and see. So I got this new dash mount right here. One of them magnetic holders for the phone. I hope that it's a little bit better than the other one before, you know. I mean, I guess to a certain extent, I'm not going to be able to control the shaking of it. You know, it's just, we're in a moving truck. But hopefully the magnetic thing holds up on it, so see how it works, see how good it looks or whatnot. Man, it was cold. It was cold last night. Had to fire up the APU and kept us nice and warm all night. It got pretty cold. I think it was probably like 30 something. I mean, I know it's not crazy cold like in other places where it's negative something. You know, I got a buddy that's over there working in the oil fields, North Dakota, and he said it was like negative 60. Negative 60. I think the lowest temp I've ever been in is like maybe like negative 2 or something like that. But negative 60. I've never been in that type of weather right there at all.
Share, and subscribe.
Hey guys, so I got to the customer and they changed things up like pretty dumb. So they have us going through the exit side, and because they're doing construction or whatever it is at this customer, and because there's construction there, the easiest thing to do is, you know, before they used to let you go inside and wait until they're ready or whatever, and then once you're ready you get a door, but you're inside waiting, right? Well, now they don't let you wait inside the building anymore, so you got to go park somewhere, and there's really nowhere to park there. I'm pretty sure most of you drivers have dealt with this before. But the biggest issue is, instead of letting me go inside, make a U-turn so that I can get out of there, no, they make me back up while there's construction vehicles and everything in the back. I'm like at an awkward angle. It took me like 30 minutes just to be able to back up and get out of there safely, because, you know, the carrier that I'm leased with doesn't allow us to park just wherever because it's a safety hazard. I know most of the videos that you guys have seen, I don't really talk about my carrier. I do that for specific reasons because I just don't want to, I just don't want to cause any issues, you know. I mean, these are vlogs of my trucking journey out here, nothing to do with the carrier. So that's the reason why I decided that I'm not gonna post anything about the carrier. I'm not gonna talk about the carrier. There's nothing bad, you know. I've been with this particular company for 8 years now, and I like it here. But I found it a lot easier. It's just gonna be a lot easier if I don't talk about them. I don't want to talk no opinion good, no opinion bad, and it just avoids problems. You know, I know I've seen other YouTubers that are on the same situation where they're leased on with whoever. You know what I mean? And there's been times that maybe even some of them get canned. You know, they lose their contract or whatever because the carrier didn't like something you said, or the carrier didn't like something you did, and you know, so I just find it a lot easier to where it's just I rather just not talk about them, because at the end of the day it isn't about who I'm leased with or whatever. It's about me and my trucking journey. So I came back to the truck stop and I told them, just give me a call when you guys are ready, and that's what I'm going to start doing from now on, because it's I'm not going to be going through that to where I go to the exit point and it's a pain in the butt to turn around and it's just pointless. I'm like, why not just let me call? I'm less than 5 minutes away. You guys saw in the previous clip how close I am to them, and then I'll just go to the dock. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, no problem. You know what I mean? But sometimes these customers can make it difficult. You know, they don't understand that it's a big ass truck. It's not just easy. Just turn around and go somewhere else. Like, it's a pain in the ass. Like, the entrance is right here and you're like at an angle, so you gotta like it's just messed up. I wish I could have shown you guys, but I was already there, and I didn't have the patience and time to get the phone and show you guys when this guy's like telling me, the guard, you know, that I have to leave and then I have to turn around, and then I got construction in the back. And you know, the beautiful thing about trucking sometimes, you know, it's just the pain in the ass sometimes. But once I pick up, I'll get back with you guys today. I wanted to talk about today's topic, about that new law that's coming out in March 11 that potentially might affect people like myself, that's an owner operator and that's leased onto a carrier. I don't think particularly it's going to be an issue for me, but I'm going to explain the differences on owner op. A lot of people think owner op is just a one operation thing, but it's actually kind of like owner op in different categories, and I'm going to break down each category to the best of my knowledge and to try to get you guys to understand how it works and whatnot. But yeah, we'll see you then.
Alrighty. We are finally loaded. Time to hit the road. Alrighty. Man, we got crazy weather. Yesterday at night, it was pretty cold, like cold enough to where you actually have to use a heater. And right now it's hot. Hot enough to where you gotta use your AC. So it gets just cold and hot, crazy weather. Had called one of my buddies up, and he told me the roads are clear over there down in Mississippi and Jackson, and you know, all the states that we got to go through on I-20. So that's good. Glad I'm not gonna be dealing with no ice. That's one thing that I hate dealing with. You really can't, you know, get good traction, and I think it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? I'm one of those guys that, you know, if the weather gets too crappy, you know, I ain't no super trucker or nothing. You know, if the roads get really bad to where you gotta just be going slow and everything, like, you waste more time. I think it's better to just sit, wait it out, you know. And like, I only got one truck and one life. I don't want to be risking it, just to get the load there. They can wait. No load is ever too important for you to risk your equipment or risk your life, in my opinion. And it doesn't necessarily have to be you. You might be, you know, rolling good and, being safe, and somebody else slams into you or hits you, and now your day ruined. With these trucks, any little thing, any little hit or whatever, they pretty much destroy themselves. It's not like the old school trucks that they were built to last. These trucks, it's all plastic and fiberglass. That's it. So I don't like risking my equipment if I don't absolutely have to. I'd rather just shut down and not be dealing with all that mess. I mean, yeah, it's gonna cost you a little bit of time, but if you think about it, if you're rolling in that icy stuff, it's still gonna cost you time anyway, as well, because you might be only rolling at a crawl, 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, and you're over there all tensed up, paying attention to everything, paying attention to every gauge and your tires, and make sure you're not sliding and all that stuff. Like, to me, it's just not worth it. I'd rather just pull over. I was looking at the news, and there was like a whole bunch of trucks, like pile-ups, and I think over there by like Houston or whatnot. And like I said, to me, it's just not worth it. I don't know why people risk it. You can't drive on ice. It's different when maybe it's a snowpack or whatever. You might still be able to get some traction or whatnot, maybe with some snow, some chains or whatever. But you put chains on ice, and you're just going to destroy your chains. Not only that, but those linkages will start breaking apart, and if you're ever driving in weather like that afterwards, you might want to be very, very careful, because a lot of those chain links breaks, and then now you got tires to worry about. And because our tires are very, very cheap, well, then you really got nothing to worry about. In case anybody of you missed it, that's called sarcasm, because tires are very expensive. When you're talking about, you get a good name brand tire, you're talking about $500-$600 a tire. You drive through some chain links, and it pops 2-3 tires. You might be out, $2,000, or maybe even a little bit more, because now it's a service call, and now you're pretty much screwed wherever you're at. You know what I mean? So that's no buenos dias. All right, let's get on this interstate. Come on, come on, come on. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about the topic of the day. Owner-operators, the different classifications that there is of owner-operators. A lot of truckers that are listening to this might know exactly what I'm talking about. And for people who never driven a truck in their life, then it'll be something completely new. So I would say that the first tier of owner-operator would be classified as the following. It's a person who owns all of their equipment. Their equipment is under their name or an LLC, and they have their own motor carrier and their own authority to run those loads. So it would just be like any major carrier. The only difference, it might be that it might even be just like a single person owner operator operation, just one man operation. Or it might be that one man also has, a couple of different owner operators leased on with them. So that would just be like you're a full blown company, just like any other major player, because it doesn't make a difference whether you have only one truck or you have 1,000 trucks. Just to give you an example, let's just say Swift, for example. And I'm an owner operator that has everything under my name, whether it's an LLC or your name itself. And, all the same rules apply. The carrier responsible for safety, you got to do inspections. You got to do every single thing that Swift needs to do to stay operational also applies to a small company, even if you're only a one-man company. It's no different. Same regulations, same paperwork needs to be filed. The only difference is just the size of the company. They got thousands and thousands of truck, and you got your one truck. So that would be an owner operator by himself with his full authority and everything. Now, the second type of owner operator can be a lease purchase owner operator. So there's a couple of key differences in that. And so just to give you an example, like, I won't name a company in specific, but there's many companies that do a lease purchase option. So that means that a person can go into this company and they lease the truck from that company. But the truck is not under their name. They're not financing it from a bank. They could either be an LLC or they could be, just using the EIN tied with their social security under their own name, right? A lot of companies will classify these drivers as an owner operator. The key differences between the first one and this one is that most of these carriers that do that, they'll have a buyout option at the end of your lease, meaning X amount of dollar. Let's just say you do a 36-month lease, and they might say, okay, you might be paying $1,000 a week plus mileage fees or whatever it is that they have in their lease agreement. And at the end of the lease, if you pay, for instance, just to put a number on it, $20,000, and the truck is now officially yours, they sign over the title, then you're good to go. But before then, you're pretty much, in the eyes of the government, you can be classified as an owner operator because they're still paying the truck payment, they're still paying their fuel, they're still paying their breakdowns, they're still paying pretty much all that stuff, right? But they don't have the freedom to be able to move that truck somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying all of them are like that. It just depends on from company to company on the way they do the lease. But most companies that you do a lease purchase with, you can't take that truck and move it from company A to company B and continue to operate. Or if you want to open up your own motor carrier and have your own authority, like in the first example, then you can also do that too. You're able to do that if you pay off the truck. Then at that point you own the truck. But most lease purchases require for you to work there. And with this new law coming out in March 11th, I believe it is, that's very similar to the AB5 law in California, states that you can't have leased on owner operators with the carrier if you're doing the same thing. I'm not going to really get into that stuff. Right now we're comparing the differences between owner operators, but I'll make a video exclusively on that to help you understand a little bit more on how the law works or whatnot. But so you're kind of an owner operator, but you're kind of not, because you're doing a lease purchase. A lot of these companies have a walk away lease, so you get in trouble or you just don't want to do it no more, you simply just walk out, and as long as you're paid up to that point, then you're good to go. You know what I mean? And that's that with that type of owner operator. But you don't have the ability to just move the truck wherever you want. And a lot of these leases are very hard to complete, because whenever you're getting close to that point to where you're almost finishing the lease and you're going to have that buyout option, they control your loads. They can start giving you less loads or whatever to try to make you return that truck, because for them, their truck is getting paid for as long as you're rolling it. And then at the end of the day, you're the one that loses all that money. You know, it's more of like a lease, like a car. You're kind of just like renting the equipment, but you're responsible for the equipment up until you return it or you purchase it. It's kind of the same way, the way that lease purchase works. But I think that new law, that's what it's targeting. More situations like on a lease purchase type of deal. Then you got the third option, which is like what I'm doing right now. So I'm leased onto a motor carrier, but the truck is under my LLC. I financed it, I paid for it, you know, and I have the ability to move my truck wherever I want. I control my loads. I go wherever I want. I stay home as long as I want. Really, the only thing that I use the motor carrier for is just their authority and the ability to grab loads from their load board. But I have full control of my truck. My truck is under my LLC name, and like the equipment's mine. I don't have limitations to where, you know, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. Like if I don't want to be with this associated with this company anymore, I just simply terminate the contract, and I'm able to lease my equipment, you know, rent my equipment per se, to where I exchange the use of my truck for a certain percentage off of the loads that I get. You know, so they might be getting, for example, 20% and I get 80%. And that's the exchange that occurs for me leasing on my equipment to them. But I have full control of what I'm doing. Like they have no say so on what I can or cannot do with equipment. The only rules that I have to follow with this specific motor carrier, it's just like any rules that I would have to follow even if I was my own motor carrier, you know? All the safety stuff, inspections, you know, stuff that I would have to be doing on my own anyway. Like it's not really a hassle because it's something that I would have to do no matter what. Just like I said before, whether you're a motor carrier with one truck or you're a motor carrier with 1,000 trucks, all the paperwork is the same. All the, you know, MCS 150s that you have to file and insurance that you have to keep, it's all the same for everybody. So, but those are the key differences between an owner-operator that has their full authority, everything is under their name, they have their own numbers, they're able to control their business however they want. Then you got your lease purchase, you know, that has a little bit more control over what you do or what you can't do. You know, because let's just say the company, let's just say it's a good company, right? Like they're not trying to screw anybody over or whatever on a lease purchase model. You know, let's just say the work just slows down because everybody knows that the work is crappy right now, right? You know, I don't have the option to move that truck somewhere else. Like I have to be leased onto that carrier. And that complicates things because, you know, if you've already been, let's just say you got a 3-year lease and you're in your, you know, maybe you only got another 3-4 months or whatever to finish it. Like you're pretty much confined to only working with them. You can't just say like, okay, well, I'm going to get my truck and go to the oil field, or I'm going to try company A, B, and C and how it's there. You can't unless you have the buyout. And with money being tight as it is right now, most people don't have that buyout. You know, some people do, some people don't. You know, and like I said, the third option, you have full control because the equipment's already under my name. Like it, you know, when you're lease purchasing a truck, that truck is under company A's like information. None of your information, whether you're an LLC or an individual with an EIN doing business as a self-employed individual, none of that information is on the title. Like it's their truck and you don't get that title under your name until you finish paying for it. Unlike the route that I took when I purchased my truck and I financed my truck. Now the finance company has the lien and they have the title to the truck, but the title is under my company's LLC name. Like it's my truck. I'm the full owner of the truck unless I default. Until I default, then that's when they can reclaim ownership of it. But as long as you're current and you're making your payments just like anything else, that's your truck. You have full authority on what you do or what you don't do with it.
Hey guys, so that sums up this video. I actually had a little bit more footage, but the Bluetooth disconnected and the audio was horrible. And I've been trying to clean it up with the editing software or whatever, but it sounds real choppy and shitty. So I decided not to even put the footage in there. But I hope I kind of make clear, you know, the differences of owner operator. You know, you got your full first tier, I guess you could say, that where they pretty much own everything. They're their own MC, they own their own equipment, they have their LLC or corporation or incorporated or whatever the way they set it up. You know, then you got your lease purchase guys as well, and then you got owner operators like me. You know, so I'm hoping that this law doesn't affect us. I'm sure that there's lease companies out there that are shady, but there's other good ones as well. I'm gonna do a little bit more homework on exactly how that law affects, you know, the industry. You know, there's a lot of other people on YouTube doing it as well, if you guys want to look or whatnot, but I kind of wanted to just give my 2 cents on the differences of when somebody says, well, I'm an owner operator. You know, there's different ways you can be an owner operator, you know, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody or nothing, you know. Like I said, I'm just giving my 2 cents on what I've learned over the years in the industry, and that's pretty much it, you know. But I'll go ahead and do some more homework, and if I get any more updates or whatever, I'll let you guys know. But stay safe and peace out.
So we may have a problem.